and welcome to Real Talk, where every Sunday night we offer insight, education, and resources to in-home caregivers and those affected in their world. These are the children, the parents, the extended family, and everyone who loves them. And our goal is to offer real-life topics and learning through discussing real issues and offering real solutions. And tonight, I'm very excited to welcome two guests who are going to share some really great information with us about the NCSA, otherwise known as the Newborn Care Specialist Association. So I would love to welcome Sarah Nieves and Andrea Hedley. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're going to dig into the NCSA tonight. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what you're doing, the relaunch, some of the standards that are being set. But before we do that, I would love for our audience to get to know both of you just a little bit, because you're pretty well, you have a good presence in the online world, but people don't always get to know you personally. So tell us just a little bit how you kind of got into the newborn care world and why being part of the NCSA is passionate for you, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Nieves. I am a newborn care specialist based in West Hollywood, California. So I started my NCS career about 10 years ago now. I was from Rhode Island and went to live in Peru and was volunteering in some government-run newborn care facilities in the mountains of Peru. And I definitely realized that newborn care was much more universal than so many people realize. So I started my NCS business here in California about 6 years ago, and through that have met so many incredible NCS across the country that bring so many different experiences. So when I was given the opportunity to kind of bring all of these experiences together and see the NCSA change and grow, bringing in NCS from different training backgrounds, from different experience backgrounds, and get to kind of speak up for everyone, I was really excited to get involved.
Fantastic. So Andrea, just tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll worry about the NCSA.
Hi, I'm Andrea Hedley. I'm obviously from England. I moved over to California about 12 years ago, and fairly soon did my postpartum doula training, and fairly quickly started working with twins. And through that experience, realized that I needed some more baby-focused kind of training, and came upon the wonderful newborn care specialist world, which definitely better suited the work that I was already doing. And through that, and through being from England, where things are generally more regulated, felt that there was just a need for our industry, like the doula industry and the nanny industry, to just be, a little bit more self-regulated, which is why I felt a calling to resurrect the Newborn Care Specialist Association.
Fantastic. And I know that you and I talked about it a lot when you were participating doing it.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah, but it's amazing to see what you guys have already done. And now you're kind of really in that go moment of getting a lot of information and a lot of really solid standards out there. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. I want to spend some time really talking about relaunching the NCSA as a nonprofit organization, and why being a nonprofit is really kind of important to this.
Well, for me personally, it was always from the very start, it was always my goal as soon as possible to go nonprofit, but obviously that's not always immediately possible. But the reason for that was mainly transparency in every area of what we have been doing, not just the financial side of things, but also to ensure that there's no conflicts of interests with any board members, that there was transparency with the policies that we were preparing as a board, and all the policies, all the documents that we put together as a board are living documents, and they will be updated and they will evolve as we move through this as an industry together, as an association. Yeah.
Fantastic. How about you, Sarah? Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, just being this self-regulating organization means that we, as the NCSA, with input from the entire industry, get to set these standards. It doesn't mean, one person who is profiting from anything is getting to set these standards. We get to take input from all areas and create all of these different, statements and standards that we're going to go through together here, and, bring accountability to this industry.
Uh-huh. So having served on boards myself, I understand kind of what an industry association is and a self-regulating organization is. But a lot of our audience may be watching this and going, what are you talking about? What does that mean? So tell us in your words what that means to you.
Well, we obviously we don't have any official regulation as an industry, so it kind of makes sense for us to regulate ourselves. Then we get obviously more of a say of what those regulations are. I want to make it very clear that the NCSA, we're not an educational accreditation authority or body in any way, but we are what a self-regulating organization is that they tend to be made up of experts in their particular field, which obviously are every member on our board is a well-seasoned NCS, and they've been chosen to bring their experience to the board to set the foundational documents. And the idea of a self-regulating organization is to bring heightened supervision to the industry, their industry. The New York Stock Exchange is a self-regulating organization, so is the American Bar Association. And we're all put in place to set standards and maintain standards of conduct and ethical behavior. That's
Fantastic.
yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Sarah?
With that, bringing that accountability, part of that will be bringing standards of allowing something like a grievance policy that'll allow others within the industry and outside the industry, like clients, families, anybody, to bring a complaint against misconduct from a certified newborn care specialist through the Newborn Care Specialist Association or any member of the association. So having this completely transparent grievance policy and procedure will really bring accountability to the industry, which is really needed and is part of being that self-regulating organization.
Yeah, and the grievance policy and procedure isn't just to remove members and remove certification. It's to help people, help NCSs improve. It's going to be done privately and confidentially, and we really want other NCSs to know that it's not just for parents, it's for other NCSs. If you see something that you're not sure about with another NCS, come and talk to us, and if there's an issue, we'll bring that NCS in, we'll talk to them about the issue, and it'll be done privately, and we will help our members improve if there is an issue. And that's what we feel is really important.
No, I love that. Having been part of organizations who had grievance policies, but it was just do you get to stay or do you get to go?
No.
The reality that you're doing this is an opportunity for people to learn is fantastic. So absolutely. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So there was an old NCSA organization. This newer organization has no direct association with that one, correct?
Absolutely correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've been talking about new certifications, having made some changes and what they're going to involve. So I'd love to talk about those and then kind of address so I was certified through the old one and my grandfather did. Right. Let's talk about both of those things. Whichever one wants to go first.
I'll start on kind of the entire idea of the new 3 levels of certification. So there will be 3 levels going into the future: foundational, advanced, and premier certifications. By doing this, we're really trying to expand the education and experience that each level brings. Through this, we're going to have different categories of education and experience that are needed for each level. For education, that the categories will be lactation, bonding and attachment, and other infant mental health classes, as well as perinatal mood disorders. We'll also be requiring that everyone knows how to find and evaluate academic sources. So one of our big focuses is making sure that these are credentialed proper educators teaching the courses that people are taking. There are a ton of classes that pop up by anyone that can say they can teach a course. So it's one of our big passions to expand, to have a broader scope of knowledge. So every NCS, you don't have to be an expert in every part of newborn care, but every newborn care specialist who is certified through the NCSA needs to have a base knowledge in each of these categories and a growing knowledge and growing amount of experience in each of these categories as they go up. So each level will have their requirements, as well as experience and work requirements and an exam. So having these 3 levels, I think, will really expand. So it's not just, have you taken one course, you're now an NCS. It's really going to expand what that looks like.
Fantastic. Anything to add to that, Andrea?
No, I think Sarah said that very well.
Fantastic. So, yeah, absolutely. I think she did too. So I'm going to ask that burning question that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So if I said to you, hey, I was certified through the old NCSA, does that grandfather me in? Does that count? How does that work?
While we appreciate that you were certified previously, unfortunately, you are going to have to meet all of our new requirements, because we've spent a lot of time updating these, making them very current with the needs of today. And yeah, we to get our certification, you are going to need to go through them all again.
Right. So to be super clear, there was a previous NCSA, I can't even talk tonight, NCSA entirely. So none of those are grandfathered in. What about the people that have done it since you took over the helm?
Yeah, so they will obviously, our certifications only last 2 years. So once their certifications will stand, obviously, and once they need to recertify, they will recertify with the new
new standards.
Yes, certifications. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That I think will help people understand a lot better. So that's great.
And also we're going to give I think it was a 30-day period of time for anybody that was coming to the end of a current application.
If they've already started the application process,
we'll still accept, we will accept the current certifications for a period of, I think it was 30 days we agreed on in the end.
Perfect. And so I've seen online, and I had a copy sent to me so that I can look at it and review it and stuff. But you guys are putting out some really clear statements on where you stand on some things. Let's talk about sleep.
Yeah. So we are definitely bringing some more definition to certain things, specifically around sleep training. So the entire idea of sleep training in the newborn care specialist industry is brought up quite often. As an NCS, our scope that we are working on is 0 to 16 weeks. That is how all of our foundational documents, our scope is going to be based on the 0 to 16 week timeframe. So with that said, we put out a statement on sleep, which does state that a newborn care specialist will only practice responsive care and will not practice any non-responsive care or cry it out sleep training before 16 weeks adjusted age. So this, we want to make it clear that we are not anti-sleep training. We are not, at age appropriate times, and to make it clear that we are not anti-sleep. We, are really defining the difference between helping create healthy sleep habits, creating the building blocks of healthy sleep. We put right in the statement, here are some things we can do: work on routines, work on sleep tools, creating an ideal sleep environment. All of these things, absolutely, when implemented, encourage great, healthy sleeping through the night. However, they are all forms of responsive care, meaning if a baby is crying and needs something, we are responding to them.
Fantastic.
And
anything you would like to add, Andrea?
Well, as far as the breastfeeding statement, what we identified was that there are a lot of some NCSs that are giving advice to parents outside of their scope of what their qualification is as a lactation advisor. And that was something we spent a lot of time trying to work out how we could define what was okay as an NCS. And we realized that there was maybe a little bit of a gap in between having no lactation qualification and the CLE, the CLC, the CBS, and then obviously the IBCLC. So we've now asked that if you haven't taken any of those qualifications, that there's a very short course, a couple that we recommend, or a similar type of course that you take before attempting any of the NCSA exams, because we have put some very basic lactation management questions in our exams now. Mm-hmm. just so that NCSs have just the language, and just to be able to talk to a breast chest feeding parent about their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. A basic level of knowledge and understanding. I think not only is it critical, but I would think as a parent, parents are expecting us to know that. And, when I teach, I always say, look, I don't care how many babies you have nursed.
Yeah.
Yourself personally, that doesn't make you an expert in this, and it doesn't make you knowledgeable about all the science behind it. You're not qualified to give the information. You need to be properly trained if you're going to do that. So I love that that's become an aspect of this. So well done on that.
And that's the real key here, is that only work up to and not beyond your scope of qualification, and then refer on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if somebody says, okay, this sounds kind of cool, I kind of like this, I think it's a good thing to have these standards. And unfortunately, we all know, having heard many of the stories, why standards are so desperately needed in our industry. And that's great. But if somebody says, you know what, I think I want to be a part of this, how can they get involved? Is there membership options just for individuals? Can businesses join? Are there other ways they can serve? Do you have committees? Share a little bit about what those opportunities might be for the people that are out there watching us.
At the moment, we only have single membership, but we are, the plan is to have agencies, training, memberships, and to expand as we go. And absolutely, we want as many NCSs to get involved on committees, on anything that they're passionate about. Create a committee if it's something that they're passionate about, and shape the future of our industry. That's absolutely what we want, isn't it, Sarah?
Absolutely. And we already have some amazing committees that have already formed. Each of our individual groups, each board member will be leading a committee. So we are definitely excited to build those committees out and bring in, we really want to expand the experiences from newborn care specialists who come from different training backgrounds, who come from different experience backgrounds, and who are geographically all over the country and internationally. So we are excited to really build out from what we have. We also currently are accepting applications for 3 remaining board seats. So we are very excited to, expand. The board will complete at 11. So we're excited to fill these last 3 board seats and really, have some big changes as we start in the next few months.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. I know, again, from personal experience, having a larger board gives you more voices, gives you more ideas, more input, and frankly, more hands to do some of the work, because for those of you who are watching and don't realize, because you haven't sat on a board like this, I sat on the INA board for many years and ended up as co-president of the INA for 2 years. And there's a lot of work that goes into this. And so people serving on the board and people volunteering is critically important to the success of an organization. So I would say if this is something you're passionate about, get involved and really reach out to them. Speaking of reaching out, how can they find you? Tell us. I mean, we'll put all this in the feed also, but let's put it out here. Tell us how they can reach you guys.
We are very excited about our social media right now. We've been really posting kind of sneak peeks all week of each of these different things we've discussed tonight, the levels of certification and these statements and our kind of core foundation here. So following the Newborn Care Specialist Association on both Facebook and Instagram is a great start. But then our launch is Monday, which is the most exciting part. And we will have an entire new website with everything in one place, easy access to join, become a member, read about everything we're doing. And we're really excited to share it with everybody.
And we have a new website address, which is newborncarespecialist.org.
Fantastic. Love it. So anything else before we wrap up that either one of you want to share with our audience?
For me, I would like to share that the absolute key to the success of the NCSA is as many NCSs as possible getting involved, joining. Our strength is in numbers. As an industry, we need to come together to join with a common goal of strengthening and raising the standards and maintaining the standards. So my hope, my wish is that we all come together and everybody gets involved, and that everybody knows that it's not about any of us, it's not about any of the board members, it's about every single NCS. It really is, and that's why we're a non-profit organization.
I agree completely. It's really about breaking down the walls of the separation of different parts of our industry and making this be one central location where newborn care specialists from all backgrounds can come and be represented and have their voice heard.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. I have been excited about this since the beginning. Now I'm even more excited to see what you're doing. And again, in case you guys missed it, their official relaunch is Monday. So this will be exciting to see where it goes and exciting to see how people get involved and really make a positive difference. So I would want to say on behalf of everybody in our industry, thank you for stepping up. I know how much work this is, and it is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you both for joining us tonight on Real Talk. It is always fun to get to talk to you, but it's also an honor to have you on tonight, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you to our audience. If you have any questions about this topic or anything related to the Newborn Care Specialist Association, put them in the feed. And you can tag Andrea, you can tag Sarah, or you can tag Newborn Care Solutions, and we'll make sure you get answers. You can also rewatch this segment and any of our past segments by going over to our YouTube channel and go into Newborn Care Solutions Real Talk, or go to newborncaresolutions.com and click on the education tab. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great night.